It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on Habscast.
Welcome back to Habscast. We're a couple of minutes late there. I'm talking to Rick. I've been nuts the last hour, and apparently two big trades wasn't enough. There was a third, Jordan Kyrou, and I had to get the goodies for that. I've sent Rick, I think, on two different things. The email, the new link here. He should be with us in a minute, Rick Springhetti. We're going to do a mock draft, but Rick, maybe reply if you didn't get the link. I think you did, but he should be here in a minute. Crazy day, crazy day. Well, it all kicked off with the Simon Nemec trade. It was a huge one. We saw Simon Nemec and Maxim Siplikov. I mean, it's not there was rumors that he was on the block, and he kind of wanted to get traded. So traded he got to Calgary. They got another right defenseman, another offensive right defenseman. Rick, where are you, buddy? Pretty sure I sent you the link. So they got, they got Perek. Now they got Nemec. That's pretty interesting. They, in exchange, New Jersey got a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 first round pick from Colorado, Vegas, 2026 second round pick, the Rangers pick, and Etienne Morin. Now, that's pretty interesting that Calgary did not give up any of their, none of their first round picks in this draft. One second round pick in next year's draft. And Rick, let me just, I wish he was here. I didn't get a reply from him. I got a reply, but I didn't get a reply. Okay, not sure what's going on with Rick here. There he is. There you are. Okay, Rick.
It was coming through my phone, but it wasn't coming on my computer screen for some reason, the link. So I had to resend it to another email. I don't know what happened, but I'm here.
Okay, thank goodness. Ooh, Connor Ingram traded to Ottawa. Who's Connor Ingram? Is that a goalie? Is that a goalie? Okay. Thank you, JTL. I don't think that's going to upstage what we have to say, but I appreciate you. Connor Ingram. I should put that in my title now. Connor Ingram. Anyway, there's their backup goalie that Tina's been shouting about. So St. Louis now has 4 first-round draft picks. Yeah, pretty crazy, eh? 11, 15, 16, and 29. Boy, oh boy. Good thing I've got the odds in our draft simulation there, Rick. I'm going to have 3 St. Louis picks in the first round. You're only going to have 1.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. We're going to do a mock draft here in a little bit, but we got to keep talking about these trades. So it got kicked off, Rick, with this doozy. I thought New Jersey. Hey, I think you maybe thought the same, but Nemec at second overall was a little high, and I think it's safe to say, considering that they got Vegas's first round pick, Colorado's first round pick, a second, that maybe a guy that was picked first or second overall only 3 years ago perhaps went a little higher than he should have. I mean, that's not a bad return, but typically 3 years after a second overall pick is selected, you're not asking for future picks around 30. in a draft, right? And that's,
yeah.
I mean, Vegas and Colorado, you don't expect those to be top 10 picks. So, hey, I like it for Calgary. I think they have to keep building their defense, but I think what the interesting thing about this whole thing is that there were two things there. You know, Mike Greer looks at that and says, okay, Calgary is picking Bjork at 6. They're not going to take a defenseman. We've been talking, and I keep mentioning it, San Jose moved back from 2, right, to get the defenseman that they need. Well, now they're looking at it and they say, you know what, either Rudolph or Verhoff is probably going to be there at ninth overall.
Yep.
We can get the second best player in the draft anyway in Stenberg.
Yep.
So instead of having Eklund and Chase Reed, we get Dachshund Rudolph, who they might like even more, and I wouldn't doubt it because I like him a lot. And they get Stenberg, who, I love Eklund. I think Eklund's a really good player, but Ivar Stenberg has a little more jam to his game. It's like just a little more upside. So they get Stenberg and Rudolph or Verhoff, presuming that one of those two is there at 9. And, with Calgary trading for Nemec, the odds that they take a defenseman at 6 are a little lower now. So they're probably saying, okay, we're going to get one of the, we were talking about the moving down anyway. And even at 9, they're getting one of the big 6, maybe one of the big 5 anyway. And they're on their list. I know NHL guys that have Rudolph as high as the top 5. And there's a possibility he's there at 9. Well, he's a right defenseman. Rudolph and Dickinson is your first pairing down the line. And then you get friggin' Stenberg playing with Celebrini. I like what Mike Greer has done here. And it was the second, once the first domino fell with Nemec being dealt, he's probably looking at it and said, okay, let's do this deal now because we're going to get one of the defensemen that we really like, I think. Anyways, at 9, instead of having to trade down and keep the second pick, get Stenberg at 2 and get the defenseman at 9.
Exactly it. I thought even for a second, I said if they wanted to get even, they could draft like 2 defensemen. I'd say imagine if they drafted like either a Reed or a Rudolph and and then a Smiths or Atkinson and say, you got your first pairing for a long time. But no, when you really think about it, it makes a lot more sense to get Stenberg. You get the best player available. We always say that at the draft. And I think Stenberg is definitely a strong number 2 in this draft. Some people say number 1, but he's a top 2 pick, and you don't get the opportunity to pick those guys. And on top of it, like, he really fits in. He's a left winger, which is exactly what I think it's the one thing that's missing in their organization right now is that top left winger to play on that line. So it works out well. And the thing too is if they're going to pick a number 9, there's a good chance that whoever they get, it won't be like a long-term proposition for them to get to the NHL. Like, if it's Verhoff, if it's Smiths, if it's Rudolph, these guys are all going to be there pretty soon because you got to think that San Jose also wants to start advance. They advanced last year, but they really want to start getting going. And now hockey fans love the rebuild. They think it's fun, but team owners are not as crazy about it. They kind of they need some playoff games here, guys. So they're probably thinking that they want to start getting this thing moving. So it works out well. And at the end of the day, even at the end of the first round, they'll probably get a pretty decent prospect at defense because there's some, as we do our mocks, we realize that there's some decent depth at D. At this draft, at least I find it's not so bad at all. So what a win for San Jose. And about the first trade, I also love this trade too for Calgary. I think it's, as you said, he's accumulated. The thing too that I think we have to remember is that they're trading 2 late first round pick, as you said, for Nemec, but Calgary have a ton of second round picks. So a second round pick is not that far from the end of the first round pick. So the guys they're going to get in the second round, they probably had him pretty high. So it's a win-win for Calgary, no matter which way you look at it. And Nemec is not a defenseman that hasn't shown anything in the NHL. He's done well for a young defenseman. So he comes in, and I could see him being partnered with Ball, let's say, and I think that makes a good duo. And then White Cloud could work with Kuznetsov, who's a younger defenseman, and then you kind of start putting things together and have a veteran paired with a young guy. And boy, Conroy's done a really good job in Calgary. When he took over, there was nothing there, just a bunch of expensive contracts and not much going on. And in a matter of a few years, I think Calgary could start looking at a pretty decent future ahead of them.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have to give up any their first round assets here, and they can still do a pile of stuff. They got another good young defenseman. Perek and Nemec, let them fight it out for the power play quarterback, first power play quarterback. It's going to be Perek, I think, but Nemec, pretty good number 3. I think that's where he slots in, and he'll be on the right side, and that's great. I like what they did. I also think it makes sense for New Jersey to get rid of him, because I think they realized, okay, he's not, maybe we shouldn't have taken him second overall. We should have taken Östlund second overall, or maybe Logan Cooley. But anyway, but then, the next domino fell, and that was Ottawa getting William Eklund, Kasper Halttunen, Brandon Svoboda for the 9th overall pick. Now, we've already given the Ottawa side of that, the San Jose, the thinking, I mean, it made sense for San Jose. Okay, they can get one of those defensemen, maybe Rudolph, right D to go with Dickinson. There's your first pairing for the next decade. Voila. And you get Stenberg still at 2, the second best, or maybe the best player in the draft. That's not bad. And that makes sense, because I thought that they needed to trade down, because Stenberg was the second best player in this draft class, in my opinion. So it made sense. And Eklund, hey, they've got a lot of 5'11" forwards, and it was one of the reasons why you thought 5'11" wingers. Why did they take Stenberg if they've got Eklund, they've got Smith, they got, Well, now they don't have Eklund. Get an upgrade on Eklund in Stenberg, and pick the defenseman at 9 overall. So from San Jose's perspective, made a lot of sense. But I also like this from Ottawa's point of view too. I was talking to a couple of Sens fans in the pub today. Had a beer after cutting the neighbor's lawn, with the thistles 4 feet high, and I finally said, "Look, I'll do it." And I got out the shears and I did it myself. And anyway, it's done. But I was thirsty. Went to the pub, had a couple pints, and they were talking about bringing up Tkachuk and the lack of speed there, and Stützle didn't really have fast guys to play with. Like, he was kind of ahead of the play a lot of the time, a lot faster than Brady Tkachuk. Well, you get Eklund playing with Stützle. I like that combination. There's a lot of speed there. Somebody that can keep up with Stützle. Yeah. And that duo could really click. So you get a legitimate speedster. I think they needed to get faster in their lineup. They did that, getting Eklund. Haltonen, he's not Brady Tkachuk, but he's 6'3". He can score goals. He can protect the puck. He can really shoot it. He's sleepy, but so is Brady Tkachuk. Well, not sleepy as this guy, but 2 years ago in the playoffs for London, he had 15 goals in 17 games. When he's motivated, he can snipe. He's got a really good shot. Could be a 25, 30 goal scorer down the road. Big kid. They needed to get some size on the wing. They got
Yep.
that. Brandon Svoboda, a C prospect, but a good C prospect, third round guy, big too. But they still have the 25th pick that they, from that deal. They've got the pick in the first round pick in 2029, second round pick. So when you look at it, okay, Brady Tkachuk traded for William Eklund, Kasper Haltonen, Brandon Svoboda, first round pick in 2029, second round pick in 2030. It's looking better, I think. Like they got somebody to help them now, which they needed to do. I don't know that they could have gotten a better haul overall at this point than what they've gotten for
Fully,
somebody that said it's Florida or forget it. Right.
I totally agree with you. I think all things considered, Ottawa maneuvered really well. What I like too about it gives them, I think it gives them guys with a pretty safe floor to make it to the NHL. Like I think Altonen's a gamer. Like when he played in tournaments or when he played in the playoffs for London, I found him to be a
Well,
little bit of a gamer. He upped his game a
yeah,
little bit. He wants
yeah.
to be somebody, right? And the advantage with a Svoboda is I kind of tried to imagine it. I thought maybe the thing with Svoboda is he doesn't have a high ceiling, but when you don't have a high ceiling, and I think the floor is somewhat safe for a fourth line player because you know what he's going to give you. He's going to give you size. He's going to go up and down the wing and play the body and not complicate things. Um, I foresee a possibility one day if he could be playing on the right side with Halliday on the fourth line, and they could kind of switch it up when there's, defensive missions to take. And I could see that being an interesting duo, let's say on the penalty kill, and just really things like that. So they just gave themselves some options now in their roster for what I felt at least was a prospect pool that was not. I was not excited too much by their prospect pool, but now they got younger and there's a little bit more depth there, and that's not a bad thing. It's going to help them, and they're going to get more pieces coming up. So, one final thing too about Eklund is he's a really good playmaker, and I think Stusa's got a really good shot, and Battleston
Yeah.
has a good shot. So these guys are going to have fun getting some nice quality passes from Eklund and maybe
Right.
converting on them a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, Brady wasn't a bad playmaker, but um, Eklund on the PP and playing with these guys, he can, he can get 30, 40,
Yeah.
45 plus assists, and that's not bad. I like that. And Haltman, yeah, I think he's got 25 to 30 goal potential if he puts it all together. He's got a great shot. He can really fire the puck,
Oh yeah.
and um, very good in the playoffs with London on that run. So you assume that he can make it. Yeah, I like what Ottawa's done. Out of a poor situation where they're kind of gun to their head. I think they've done well with it. Now, the hot rumors right now, I've been kind of flipping back and forth on it, is that Byram going to Chicago. Elliott once Elliott, uh, you know, breaks it as a rumor, it usually
It's pretty
ends
official.
up happening. But nothing official yet. It sounds like things are heating up, I think he said. So wouldn't be surprised if not something. Now, one NHL insider said it's for the fourth overall pick. And in in his title it says NHL Insider, and then 32 followers. So Larry Jacobs, 32 followers, hearing Bo Byram to Chicago for the 4th overall pick. I don't think
No,
that's
no.
even though he's an NHL Insider with 34 followers, I think that might be a little rich. But
Yes.
yeah, Chicago could use another defenseman. Now, if San Jose now takes the guy that, in a lot of mock drafts was falling to Chicago at 4th overall, does Chicago take a defenseman? But then do they also trade for Byram? So it's going to be interesting. When we do our mock, we'll have to figure that all out, Rick.
Oh my gosh, my head is spinning already just thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then the late breaking trade that I didn't even know about that you brought up. Washington acquires Kailu for Connor McMichael, Milton Gastreen, and the 16th overall pick. So St. Louis lost Braden Shen and needed to get a centerman or two. Well, they get two: Connor McMichael, Milton Gastreen, and they might even draft one, Rick, at 16th overall too. So
Wow.
does this mean that Robert Thomas is on the way out now too? Who knows? But I like that haul for St. Louis. If
Yeah.
you ask me on the surface who wins that trade, I mean, I never, who we'll have to see. But boy, that haul for Jordan Kyrou, who isn't he's a bit perimeter. I mean, he's he's a decent scorer and he's speedy and all that. But wow, I think St. Louis really fared out well in that transaction.
Man, I'm so impressed by St. Louis. Just they get a really serviceable center, a guy that really just yeah, he's not flashy, he's not a superstar, but he's a center. He's a true center who'll give you quality minutes. As we said, Gastrin fits in. They have a lot of Swedish players, I think, in their organization, and I think Gastrin is familiar with them. He's going to be happy to be there and maybe join that group of people that he's won with in the past. So that's interesting too. And again, that first round pick, when you have so many first round picks, you got to think that St. Louis is going to find a way to get into the top 5 or 6, I would think, at this point, because there's a lot of picks there you could pick. So they're going to probably take, I really think they want to continue shoring up that defense and really get another top prospect. Or Carson Carls would be just wonderful in St. Louis. I think they would absolutely love him there. I think that makes a lot of sense if they could move up. But I don't think they'll be picking 4 first round picks. I think they'll be moving up and getting more of an impact player.
Maybe, so they're up to 4 of them. Well, certainly, if you are looking to move down, somebody's got 4 first rounders to dangle.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, maybe. Like, so what? They've got 11 and 15 and
16, I think.
And 16, eh?
11, yeah, I
11,
believe it's 16.
15, 16. Geez, you think that could get you up to maybe into Carroll's? Maybe Chicago moves back from 4, depending on what Vancouver takes. And Chicago, if they get Byram, they don't have to draft Carroll's necessarily. They're thinking, oh, we got Byram. And they move back to, yeah. Maybe that's how maybe they swing that deal first.
Man, I don't know. There's options out there.
Before they get Byram, make a deal with St. Louis where they give them, and then flip one of those picks for Byram. Maybe that's what's happening right now. There's lots of stuff happening. Wouldn't that be cool, eh?
Oh boy, the GMs are not going to have a long night's sleep tonight. I think there's going to
No.
be just a lot of time in the front of their computer.
Yeah.
I think Vancouver might want to move down a little bit and get some extra picks. I don't know if they have a whole lot in their system right now. So if they want to continue getting some depth, I don't dislike again what they have. All things considering at defense, William and Willander, and there's a few pieces to start off with, and I like starting off with some defensemen, but you could move down and get a bit more help at defense, and they don't have much at center. That's for sure.
Yeah. All
So,
right, don't give away your mock draft here.
okay. Well, I'm not picking enough. You're getting all the picks because you have St. Louis. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah. And do I have
all the
Vancouver too?
options.
I don't know. You're gonna have,
Yeah, you do have Vancouver. Yeah.
okay, so shut up. Don't um um don't be putting thoughts in my head. Yeah, this mock draft might take a while because there's all sorts of, I already sort of have you know, I've had you put out a mock draft, I put one out, I've revised mine, but I'm gonna
Oh
revising
boy.
it again. I may never get the second mock draft out, and apologies to people, but it's just because it just changes everything. Like
I
you,
know it
because
does.
you end up, moving one. All it takes is moving one guy to another, and then oh well, okay, I had it. Those guys getting this guy, and now what? You know, it changes everything. And
It does.
but well, okay, folks, keep us abreast of any late breaking trades. If that gets official here that Byram gets traded, let us know. And none of this fake stuff. Byram gone. I don't want Larry Jacobs and his 34 followers coming on here and you know saying Byram's gone for the fourth overall pick. So no bogus trades. Okay. Why don't we, Rick, do a mock draft just like me, Rocco, and I did last night? It's going to be a lot different
Sure.
already from last night. Things
Oh,
have
geez.
changed.
Yeah. Yes, they have.
Sorry, you're going what? First
Uh,
or second?
uh, I said I was going to go second today, so I
Second.
don't know. What did
All
you
right.
go? Did you go first or second with Rocco? Did you go first or second yesterday? Remember? Did you pick McKenna? Or no, I think Rocco picked McKenna, right?
That's right. I went first.
Okay,
So
so how
okay.
about we switch it up? I'll go first
All
this time since
right.
you went
Okay.
yesterday. So
Okay.
let me go first.
All right. Sounds good. Let's rock and roll here. I'll get up the um pardon. It might take me a couple minutes to get things completely figured
Yeah.
out here. Add to stage. I think I have to take us both. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I gotta every single thing that I'd already put up, I've got to remove and then add that to the stage.
Oh,
Then
okay.
add us, and all right, we're good to go. So, um, all right. So I'm going first, eh?
Yes, sir.
Ah, God, I hate picking for
Oh
Toronto.
no, I'm going
Uh,
first. No, I'm going first because you went first. Rocco went first yesterday, so you're going first. Sorry, yeah, you are going first. Geez, sorry about that, Grant.
yeah, no, I am. Yep. Okay. With the first overall pick, the Toronto Maple Leafs traded to the Montreal Canadiens for uh no, they begrudgingly select one punch Gavin McKenna.
And
All
ask for
right.
better. That totally makes sense to me.
Well, hey, I have, it Byram and Things traded to Chicago for the fourth pick. Okay. Uh I don't know if that's True. I'm not sure what things are, but I'm just gonna. Sorry, it's the Leafs, guys. So don't mind me. I don't really care about them too much. No, I don't think it's been. It ain't been. It ain't been confirmed yet. Anyway, yeah, Gavin McKenna, blah blah blah, best player in the draft. Leafs somehow ended up with them. Every time they're near the bottom, they end up with the first pick. But
Yeah.
he will help. He will help the Leafs a pile. Uh, Reminds me a fair bit offensively of uh, of a fellow named Mitch Marner. So you know, same size, same kind of vision, puck skills, playmaking ability. So they find their replacement for Mitch Marner because they
Huh?
sucked and lucked out in the draft lottery. So, well, so way she goes. Okay.
All right. So I'm picking second, and second is a San Jose pick. First of all, I want to thank wherever city I'm at right now for being such great host and all that blah 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 they always say. But yes, no, San Jose will be jumping for joy, and they are picking Ivar Stenberg from Frölunda of the Swedish Hockey League. He's there. He's ready to play with Celebrini and have the time of his life. And he's the best available player right now.
Yeah. Well, they can do it now that, and it looks like Frank Saravalli is saying, and that's a fairly good source. Sources say they're in the process of acquiring the fourth overall pick from the Blackhawks as part of a deal for Bowen Barn. Deal isn't quite done yet, so I
Ooh.
guess I guess there's fire where there's smoke here. Do we say Buffalo fourth overall pick? I don't know. Do you want to pretend it's Buffalo, Rick, or
Let's just keep it as is, though, because then I don't. Well, actually, let's do it. Let's have some fun. What the heck? It's Buffalo
okay?
picking fourth overall. Let's
Yeah.
have some fun.
All right. Frank Saravelli picks for Buffalo. Okay. So, all right. So that's all right. So third overall, Vancouver. We've got McKenna and Stenberg off the charts. Vancouver Canucks. Who do they pick? Do they go with Sonny Boy? You know what? I think they're going to avoid the nepotism. And if I were the Vancouver Canucks, I would pick Carson Carrolls, third overall. To me, he's the third best player in the draft. So pick him. Um, I think he will be their number one defenseman down the road. A fantastic addition. Um, I've loved the guy since the Palinka tournament. I think he's a stud. Um, yeah, go with Carson Carls. You can't go wrong. 22-minute a night, number one defenseman for Vancouver down the road. Better than Buem, even. Carson Carls, third overall.
That pick for Vancouver, Grant. Just he would bring something to the Vancouver decor that they don't have. A little bit more of an aggressive approach. Bullion,
Yeah,
Willander, a lot of finesse guys. He comes in and he completes that in a totally different way. And I think William will slot better as a second pair defenseman anyways. So it just
agreed.
works in so many, it just
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Really smart call there, Grant. Like it a lot.
Thank you.
So now it's Buffalo. And boy,
Yeah,
that ain't easy, my friend. That ain't easy.
no.
I think Buffalo will go with, boy, I'm kind of hesitating between two. I think Buffalo will take Chase Reed. Boy, they got a nice decor, but a lot of them is slanted towards the left. I think Reed comes in and could really fit on the right side. It's missing. I didn't love necessarily their last year's pick of Murtika at number 9 or 10 or 11, wherever they picked him. I
Yeah.
don't know if he's got much upside. I think Reed,
Really, eh?
a true power play quarterback. I think it fits in well with whatever else they have. They have a lot of big,
Yeah.
hard defensemen, and I think he'll slot in really well, and they'll be able to complete whatever positives he brings will be needed, and whatever shortcomings he has can be corrected by everybody else on that team. So it's a nice fit for me.
Yeah. You don't think Darlene's a power play defenseman, or?
Well, he is. I mean, he's an everything defenseman, right? But now you got like Reed with that,
Yeah.
and I think it gives everybody else a chance to slot in a better position. So yes, I mean, Dalina just does everything. I mean, to me, he's a top 5 defenseman in the NHL, I think, right now, and he's just
Yeah.
fantastic. But
Huh.
Reed could really specialize in this in particular, and Darlene could also, not have the pressure of being everything to
All right.
Buffalo and just spread it all out.
I just think the 6'2" centerman Malhotra might have been a nice, you know,
That was my
it,
hesitation. I was going back and forth between both.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It just seems to fit better. But
yeah,
they get rid of Byram. I guess it replaces Byram, I suppose. Um, but they do. I mean, they're loaded on D. I mean, frig. They got power, and Samuelson really, really
yeah,
came on this year. Uh, Murtika, as you call him, I like that. I like
yeah.
that pronunciation. That's um, who I don't. Neither of us are that crazy about, but
No,
yeah. Okay, well, all right.
everybody's a left shot D, right? Everybody you mentioned pretty much is a left shot D that's in the lineup right now. So I figured it'd be nice to have something else to come in on the right side.
Yeah. Okay. Um. All right. Well, who? What does? I will say, Malhotra to the Rangers. Then, they
Like,
need they need a top 2 center. JT Miller and Zibanejad are getting long in the tooth.
yeah,
Um, Malhotra looks like he's going to be a top 2 center. Brings size, brings two-way ability, brings character. Hey, they have not drafted a center since Elias Anderson in 2017 in the first
ooh,
round. They're well overdue to do so. And if Malhotra's there at 5 and Reed and Carroll's are gone, uh, Caleb Malhotra to the Rangers at 5.
yeah. I mean, like father, like son, right? Wasn't Daddy Manny first round pick of the
Absolutely.
Rangers years ago? So perfect pick. Again, I could have picked Malhotra too for Buffalo. I
Oh,
really went
no.
back and forth for a while, but
Yeah.
that's a great pick, and I think Rangers will be thrilled. So
All
now
right.
it's Calgary, right? Ah, boy, Calgary's getting a nice little decor going. So they go scale all the way like they've been doing for the last few drafts. They don't care about size. They just want ability, 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 and who better than Vigo Bjork
I
from
already put
Beer
it in.
Garden.
I clicked it. I clicked it before you said it. As soon as you said size no more. Anyway, yeah. Perfect.
Good pick.
Perfect choice. Yeah.
I
I
love
know. I
him.
mean, last night, that's who I picked too, so I can't disagree. Well,
Good.
Calgary picking, yeah, no, that's, especially if they pick up, right? Well, they did pick up that good
Yeah.
young defenseman. That tells me that they want Bjork or Malhotra, whichever the two's there, and there's likely one of them there at 6, right? And they
Yes,
take
there is. I
whichever
believe too.
whichever of the two is left. Okay, good. I like that. I like that choice for you, Rick. Mainly
Thank you.
because
Thank
I
you.
mainly because I picked that last night. So, all right. So Seattle at 7.
Yes, sir.
I am going to say, and it's either one or the other, but it's the one I prefer, and it's Daxon Rudolph at 7. They're taking a defenseman. I think it's either Verhoff or Rudolph. Might be Verhoff, but Daxon Rudolph is, I think, the perfect fit for Seattle. He'll be minute muncher, 20 plus minute a guy in all situations for them. He just got better and better as the year went along. I
Sure.
ranked them ahead of Verhoff as in the draft. So it comes down to one of the other, Dax and Rudolph. I say they go defense for sure. It's going to be either Verhoff or Rudolph if they're there. I'll say Dax and Rudolph.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
So now it's Winnipeg, right? Winnipeg, think long and hard. It's not going to be an easy choice. But I do believe Winnipeg will pick Albert Schmitz. You got almost a ready-made defenseman, and I think Winnipeg wants some ready-made players. Their system is not that great anymore. They haven't drafted too well, I find, in the last 4 or 5 drafts. There's not really anything exciting going on. I don't think they could afford to wait. So I think he's a great fit. He'll be right into the lineup. I can't foresee it later than 1 year. He'll be ready for the NHL. He's got all the tools, the size. He skates really well, and boy, he's going to be ready to play in Winnipeg soon enough.
Okay. Wow, I like that, Rick. I think it's one or the other, but San Jose would be elated then that they get the running mate for Sam Dickinson on the top pairing. Verhoff and Dickinson, what do you think? Right defenseman to go with him. They'd run to the podium if Verhoff's there at 9.
Yes.
Verhoff and Stenberg. Yikes. Certainly going into the year, if you'd have told me that one team would get Verhoff and Stenberg, I think that's pretty good, because Verhoff was considered to be one of the top 3 prospects, along with Stenberg and McKenna, and maybe he might still be one of the top 3 players from this draft class. You never know. So, yeah, and look, it's a possibility. So I think what Mike Greer's done is just genius level, really. If this plays out and they end up with either Rudolph or Verhoff at 9, absolutely perfect for them. So Verhoff, San Jose, 9th overall.
It's great. And if there's other good defensemen, a Swedish one coming up that's going to be drafted soon enough, that even could be like, if he becomes the best choice available at D, that's not a bad one either. So but Verhoff would be just perfect. Really impressive. And San Jose is jumping for joy. They had a good few days now.
Yep, for sure. All right, Nashville's on the board.
Oh boy. So I think Nashville looks at what's available, and oh boy, I believe that they go with a guy who really has potential to be a true top 4 defenseman in Malte Gustafsson. Good size, came on strong. I saw him live, and I know a lot of people just see him as a stay-at-home defenseman, but I thought he moved the puck pretty well. It's not like it's not Tommy Blyle type offense where it's like really inventive and creative passes, but it's a good lead pass. He moves it properly, and he's got all the tools you like. Future Eklund, maybe, that had a lot of success in Nashville. So that's my choice for Nashville.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's who I picked yesterday for them. So
good.
Can't disagree, Rick. Now it gets interesting for St. Louis. Like, Other
Does it
mocks
ever?
I've had this guy, that guy. Um, they don't need a centerman now as badly, I don't think, as they did.
No.
Boy, oh boy. All the big all the big all the big defensemen are gone. All the top ones. They've drafted a pile of wingers lately.
Yeah,
Now
they have a lot of
and
wingers.
and now they just picked up 2 centers. Boy, embarrassment of riches. But what I'm going to do is go with the guy that a lot of NHL scouts think has the most upside here at that point, and that is Wyatt Cullen. I think. Okay, what happened there? I think what I'm hearing is that he might go. He might go top 10, and has a pile of upside. That U.S. development team. Um, just you can only put so much stock into. It's tough to scout guys sometimes on that team because
Yes,
because
yes.
you know because they have a system and they have guys and they run them out there and it's like a cookie cutter organization. But Wyatt Cullen consistently is creating offense. Um, yeah, I think ultimately he's got maybe first line upside, certainly second line. They could use one more wing, even though he's a winger, one more guy with that kind of potential. Now that they've got rid of Kyrou, he's kind of a nice replacement for him, in a lot of ways. So Wyatt Cullen, 11th overall, St. Louis, even though it's another winger.
Great pick because a lot of the wingers they do have are not creative wingers. The
No,
neighbors and guys like that. They're really
yeah,
effective, but they're not creative. And White Cullen brings you that. So makes sense.
yeah,
And he's one of the youngest players in the draft. So why not,
okay.
right? It's a good pick.
Thank you.
So next is New
New
Jersey,
Jersey.
and I think for New Jersey, what makes sense, boy, no, I think they're going to go with a little bit of power to their game, and I think it's going to be Oscar Emming
Yeah,
out of Boston College, and hope that he will use his big body to get to the front of the net with guys like Hughes and Escher and guys like that. They're really they're not huge guys, but there's a lot of opportunities for rebounds and shots to the crease, and he's got to take advantage of his big body to power through people and get to those pucks and use that heavy shot. So to me, it's going to be Oscar Emming for the Jersey Devils.
you keep taking guys that I picked second last night.
Am I?
Yeah,
That's
no,
awesome, and that's great,
I
man.
know
Look
it's
at you
not on
pick a lot
purpose.
alike.
Just yeah. So again, I
Wow,
cannot disagree. I cannot disagree, Rick.
you can't.
No, how can I
I'm
disagree with that?
gonna I'm gonna pick somebody who should have had in the third round next, just to freak you out. And
Thank you. About time. Um, all right. The Isles are on the board, and I am going to take my favorite, uh, who, when I do finally bring out my draft list, folks, he is going to be very high. Looks like, by the way, this is Draft Prospects Hockey's mock draft simulator. Thank you to Prospect Don for having this up on his website. But he does have the guy I'm gonna pick 13th overall at 46, and I fair to say I disagree with that, and that's Alex Command. Love this
ah,
kid, absolutely love him. I think he's going to be a second line center in the NHL, and the Islanders have that need going forward. Um, Smarts, competitiveness, great shot. I just I love this guy. Don't be surprised if he goes even higher than that in the draft. I know some NHL teams love him too. Um, he's just a hockey player. And if the Islanders can get him at 13, I think that's a great fit for them.
Boy, yeah, what a player.
Yeah,
Uh,
he is.
boy. Yeah, he's another one that I got to see live in Three Rivers, and I was just thinking, wow, I like this kid a lot. I hope nobody else but me noticed it or you, because you were the first one to bring him up to me, and it's like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. He's not flying under anybody's radar. But yeah, man, kind of stole my thunder there for me, buddy. Ah,
Yeah.
all right, so
Columbus.
for Columbus, uh, boy, that's an organization that it's hard to figure out what they're gonna take, but you know, I think I wish there was a defenseman I could pick at this point of the draft, but if I have to go with the best player available, and I
Yeah,
hate saying his
well,
name because I never know how to say it properly, but it's Ethan Belches from Windsor.
yeah,
You got to hope that he puts it all together, and if he does, what a dominant player you got! Like these guys are hard to find. But as you said, it's sometimes game after game was not always the best, but also guys that are big like that sometimes come across as not being as intense as they are. There's always that maybe not misconception or maybe that misunderstanding of how they play.
yeah,
So young, but I love the tools, and you're drafting sometimes for the tools that a player possesses.
yeah. Okay. No, I like that. I like that pick. St. Louis back to back. Um, hmm. Just looking at the list here, checking it twice. Um, well, I'm gonna keep going with guys that I love
Ooh,
and that
great one.
I would Tommy Blyle. Might even Columbus might even consider him a 14, but yeah, I'm a huge Tommy Blyle fan, and I think um, Justin Falk, kind of a similar, kind of in a similar vein as far as size, puck moving, mobile, undersized defenseman, but really, really smart. Uh, love this kid. Him in command. Two guys that I always, I kept banging the table for, saying I think that
Yeah,
they're top 15 guys, and
yeah.
it's 15th pick. I got to take them. Tommy Blyle. It'd be a nice addition to a St. Louis team that still needs to. They picked a pile of wingers. They'd be picking a winger at 11 here. Um, they picked up two fairly young centers in that trade. Uh, Lawrence might be someone they'd consider there as well. Oh, sorry, they got the next pick too. No hints there. Uh, but anyway, Tommy Blyle with either the 15th or 16th pick with St. Louis for me.
He was the guy I was hesitating between Blyle and Belches for Columbus. I was going back and forth. I thought Blyle would really fill, something that they could use in
Yeah,
the organization.
yeah.
But then again, I thought, I just had
They
Belches
do
ranked
have
a little higher, so
they do have Matejchuk, who is kind of,
similar a little bit. Yeah.
sort of, but yeah. Okay. Seven or
So
16 St. Louis.
boy,
Ooh, Savanto, eh? Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm looking at him very carefully. Uh,
Morzov, Lawrence.
you
You
know,
got your pick
I'll
of centers
go.
here.
Well, I am going to go with Tynan Lawrence with the idea that in an organization like St. Louis, they might want to move him to the wing, and he might be more effective there. He doesn't always have that creativity that you look for in a center, but he's got that speed, that hustle, that he
Yeah.
moves up and down quickly. So maybe with St. Louis, he'll find a role that really suits him. A la Alex Newhook in Montreal, he's been compared to him a little bit, Grant, and yeah, I think Tyler Lawrence will bring them an element of a lot of speed that, a really fast skater, and that could be a nice little something to complete the puzzle for St. Louis.
Okay. Yeah. Simon LeBlanc saying, oh, no, that's the wrong one. He was saying Maddox Dagenet to St. Louis. They've got a lot of that type of winger already. I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know that that's, I know you're not that high on Dagenet, Rick, and I've got him mid-20s, so I think it would
Yeah.
be a bit of a reach at 15, especially considering they have, you know, they've got Holloway, they've got Neighbors, they've got a few, like you say, sort of. I don't know. I don't know that that's the perfect fit for them, but I know Rocco last night he has him top 12
Yeah, he
in the
does.
rankings, which is interesting. So, but I
Well,
think most NHL guys I talk to have him mid-20s on, you know. So
I have him 24 on my rankings, so it's around the same area you do, right? And that's where he fell for me.
okay, I thought the rankings you sent me, you had him at 30 or something. Okay,
I moved him up a little bit.
unless
I
you
have my
unless you updated it. Okay,
no,
all right.
no, yeah, he's got him at yeah, I got him at 24. I printed out my my rankings recently just to do this, so I have an idea of what to follow.
Okay, so he's rocketing up the charts. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, well, I think that LA would be smart to be looking for a center. And I guess you kind of have to make your choice between Sabanto and Morozov, and I am going to go with Morozov. Ilya Morozov to LA, 17th overall. Um, I think he's got middle line center potential. They need center, big kid. He's going to do the job defensively. It's just how much offense are you going to get out of him? But to step into college at that young of an age and be a first line center, play 2 minutes a night on the power play, or 3 minutes a night on the power play, 2 minutes on the PK. Um, didn't put up a lot of points, but you hope that the offense comes a bit of a kind of an Eriksson Ek type prospect that
Yes, good call.
that you that you hope that 4 or 5 years from now he can provide a little more offense. But I think that it's either him or Sabanto at 17 if they're there, and I'm going with the big Russian kid that's maybe a little better skater than Sabanto. 17 to LA.
Yes. He's a guy I always had in my radar as a player I really like. I think there's a little bit more offensive upside. I really didn't have anything to play with in Miami, and he still
True.
managed to do some things. So yeah, big
Yeah.
fan of Morozov. Can't say nothing bad about him.
No. Okay. Good. Washington has a pick. 18th
Well,
overall.
and well, you hesitated. I would have hesitated too, but I will go with Oliver Savanto. Super young, big body. uh, Plays, a steady game, and at the very least, he'll be, I think, a solid third line player at worst case scenario. So Washington is really happy to have him.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. We will. No shock there. I think that they're going to probably look at a center at some point. So
Hmm.
yeah, no, I like. They got rid of McMichael, right? So
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
um,
And they
that
got rid of Gastrin too. So
no, exactly. They got rid of Grasstreet and McMichael, so that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Take a Savanto. Um, all right. He's not Italian, apparently, by the way, folks. Sounds like it. Okay, Utah, 19 on the board. Ooh, now things are getting interesting.
It's hard now. Oof.
Yeah, it is. And looking at this board, Maddox. Elton Hermanson, 19th overall to some teams really like him. It's
Yep.
going to be interesting to see where he goes. It could be anywhere from like 10 to 23. There's a real divergence in the NHL ranks with Hermanson, but you know, a lot of guys thought certainly early on that he was the best of those three, the second tier of Swedish forwards after the big two, Bjork and Stenberg. Has second line potential. You know, at 19, that's a nice addition, decent size. Hermanson, Utah, 19th overall.
Boy, so now it is a Buffalo pick, right? Buffalo, boy, one of the teams I really like. I think Buffalo are happy to select. You know, they have a lot of skilled players, and some of their skilled players, whether it be Ostlund or Elenius or Benson, are not very big, and I think they could use a bit of size in front, and they could do some scoring. So I really think Adam Novotny is right now is my favorite player on the board, and I think he'd be a nice addition to Buffalo. Would really fit in and give them a second, third line option that will complement whatever else they have in their lineup.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Not a bad pick for them. All right, Philly's on the board. Wow. I'm going Klepov. They
Right.
led the OHL in scoring. Has second line potential. They could use another once Michkov flames out and he heads back to Russia. They need a replacement for him. Nikita Klepov. Lots of skill there. I think they're going to just keep adding skill. Klepov, Philadelphia. They've drafted big the last couple of years. So add some skill to go with the big. And Nikita Klepov, 21st overall, good value at that point in the draft.
Alrighty. Makes sense. You know, it compliment again. We talk about complimenting guys they already have. They went huge last draft. Boy, they went everybody
did.
they went after was like 6'3" almost. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you got to get some individual ability, some skill, some hands, and Klepov will really be comfortable playing with that lineup. So makes sense.
Thank you.
For Pittsburgh, um, you know, Pittsburgh obviously with their love of analytics and you know the people they got running the team, uh,
Oh,
they're gonna go with some talent, some skill. I think it makes sense that they will pick right defenseman Ryan Lynn. You know,
okay.
they need some defensemen in their system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got a few guys he could rely on that team right now to coach him, and Letang and Carlson, some undersized right-handed defensemen that really had long careers. So why not
Nice pick.
get the next generation?
Nice pick for them. I like that, Rick. That makes a lot of sense. And that's a Dubas type selection, as you say, right?
Yes,
So
sir. Yes.
yeah. Did you see Justavara Carlson, by the way?
I'd have to, by memory, no, but I'd have to look up my
Okay.
notes. Some guys I haven't seen a lot, and I realize that I do have notes on them, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I do not
No,
remember.
that's one name I gotta say, like, who the hell is that? I better go have a look at him.
He's a
Justavara
goaltender, though. Is he a
Carlson.
goaltender?
center left wing.
He's a
So
center.
if
Okay.
if he's a goalie, he's a really good utility player. He's all three. If he's all three,
Wow.
yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, the guy that I would be picking for Boston, where is he? Must have passed over up here. Uh, let me keep looking. It's a long name, so it should stick out once we see it. Ooh, guess they don't like this guy too much. Sorry, I'll. Oh, there he is. Or there he isn't. All right, Maxim Sokolovsky, a Boston Bruins pick if I ever saw one. Chera Light, Chera Junior,
Yes,
their
sir.
their Chera replacement. 6'7" and a quarter, mean hitting machine.
Yes.
I think if he's there at 23, Boston is saying
Yeah.
Sokolowski. Cam Neely's banging the table. Get the big boy. Sokolowski, Boston, 23rd overall. I'd be shocked if
The,
they passed on him.
yeah. Yeah, I agree, 100%. And Boston believes in a long-term vision, and he's a
Yeah.
long-term project, and that's just what Boston's all about. They always draft these guys that take a while, but when they're there, they're really good. So, yep, that sounds like the right pick to me.
Oh, apparently, Rick, Jordan Greenway is in this deal. Chicago is requiring Byram and Greenway for the 4th and 45th pick and a player. Okay.
Bad for
Oh,
Buffalo, in my opinion, Grant. They free up a little bit of money too. Maybe they sign Tuck for that way, and
yeah.
that's
Oh,
because I think that's might happen.
they Sabres also got okay, so they got Chicago's first overall pick, 40th, 45th overall Islanders pick, and Louis Crevier, six
Oh,
6'7" defenseman. um,
really?
yeah, yeah, big bad
What
Louis.
a haul! What a haul for Buffalo!
How
I'm
many six?
impressed.
How many 6'4" plus defensemen do the Sabres have now? When you add in Stanley, um, right?
Wow,
Crevier, Samuelson, Mertka,
Power.
Power, on and
Come on.
on and on. Uh, they're huge. They're huge on defense. Okay.
Wow. What a deal. I am impressed by Buffalo. Unfortunately, they're playing and we get to play more of them, which is not good for Montreal because that was a good deal for Buffalo. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. That was
Yeah.
nicely done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Greenway, he's not with the Sabres anymore. I don't mind that actually for Montreal, but
Yeah.
uh, Byram, geez, Byram keeps getting a good hauls there. That's a that's a pretty good. He was a 4th overall pick, if I recall correctly, and
Yeah.
he goes on his 3rd team. He gets a 4th overall pick back again. So yeah, I like that for Chicago. I think that's a 1st and a 2nd, and Louis Crevier, and then Jordan Greenway, well, 4th liner or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, nice haul for Yarmo and Bergevin. Okay,
Sure. I forgot about Bergevin being there. You're
that's
right.
right.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay, so now I got to pick for Vancouver, eh? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's not going to be easy either. Uh, you know, uh, I think Vancouver is pretty much near the start of a rebuild. Um, and I think when you're rebuilding, you got to pick some talent. So JP Earlbert is a good pick for Vancouver. Look, the guy produced. assistant captain in Kamloops right away upon arriving there. He's been consistent. He works hard. Um, his defensive game has to be worked on, but the one thing about him is that he does back check. He does want to do better defensively. So I think he's going to be a worthwhile pick, and they're going to need some guys to put some pucks in the net, and that's what he brings to for your team.
Yeah, okay. That's decent. Well, I'm going to pretend that I'm Rocco here, picking with Ottawa next.
Okay.
He loves Maddox Dagenet. He'd be happy about this one.
All right.
It'd between him and Liam Ruck. I don't know who. I think he'd still have Dagenet ahead because he had 12th overall. So this is for Rocco. Maddox Dagenet to the Ottawa Senators. They get their French Canadian, just like when they drafted Alex Daig first overall, so they could please the fans on the Gatineau side of the river. And nobody remembered the second overall pick, as Alex Daig said at the time. Just happened to be Chris Pronger, but
that's pretty good if I recall, right?
Yeah, it was all right. He turned out okay.
Okay.
But hey, at 25 overall, that's good value. He's that's right around where we've got him ranked, right, Rick?
Right on.
Hey, might be a big second line winger that pops 30 goals, might be. So at 25 overall, again, they got Haltnen, they get Dagenet, they get Svoboda. None of them are Brady Tkachuk, but all are big, and all are capable of potting a few goals. Certainly Dagenet and Halton in particular. So Maddox Dagenet, 25th overall, Ottawa. Even though I think you might see them moving that pick as well. At some point. All right.
Right. So who do the Rangers go for? So the guy I want to pick might have you throwing something at me.
Oh yeah, he's not Lithuanian, is he?
Yeah, he might be on the Lithuanian side. He's got to be the guy because he's the next on my list. So I got to follow my list, and I had him ranked at 20.
Hey,
so
I didn't have him going to Montreal either.
Mr. Ignatavicius, Simas, boy, they're gonna love him, and he's gonna be there pretty soon, and he's gonna give a little bit of electricity to the Rangers, and in a few years, when he becomes the player that we think he could be, with Caleb Malhotra as their other first-round pick, I'd see a nice duo there for a few years to come.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. Pick, I think that's great value at in mid-20s. Hopefully, he slips a little more than that, but
I'd like that too. Believe me, my friend.
Yeah, but no, all right. Well, we got San Jose on the board, and I'm going to give them Jakub Vanacek. Just keep
makes sense.
Rebuilding that defense core, and as you know, Rick, I'm a big Vanacek fan. I loved him at the U18s, and I think at 27 overall, that's great value, and also fills a big need going forward for San Jose. Hey, if they get Stenberg, they get Stenberg, they get that good young defenseman, they get Vanacek. You got to like it for San Jose. Verhoff.
Verhoff, yeah, that's it.
Verhoff, Vanacek, the double V, and Stenberg. Wow, look out for San Jose if they can get those three. Geez, it seems to be falling into place for you, my friend. Here, just like your mock draft. Who's Montreal going to take?
Well, I know it comes across like I'm his biggest fan in Montreal, but he really is just the next player on my list, and I'll follow that list. And I think you agreed with me last night, that's for sure. So It's got to be Ryder Cali from North Bay. I think he's super young. He's developing. And if you notice, Montreal tend to pick guys that have a developmental curve that's almost like more active or more recent. They like guys who
Yeah,
are, kind of a little bit more raw. And he falls into that category. I could see that being a pick that Montreal would be interesting. And I think he would be a nice addition to their prospect pool, a true center that can play second, third line.
yeah. It's I don't disagree, Rick. You know why?
I know you don't.
No, but CMIS is still going to be there and
Oh
take it to
yeah,
the
that
bank.
would be great too.
But either one, yeah, I'm happy with either.
Yeah.
Um, and knowing the halves, it'll be somebody completely different. But all right, St. Louis is on the board. About time.
Glenn.
Um, hmm. Wow. I guess I got to go with whoever. And at this point in the draft, who do I have highest, Rick? I'm still working on my final rankings, and it's
Oh my gosh, eh?
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm
Yeah.
having a hard time coming up with 32 names that I think are really, you know what I mean, like
Yeah, of course.
should be first round picks. It's just I don't see it. Uh, I see a lot of second rounders.
And then, of
Yeah,
course, around 20 minutes after you publish it, you kind of go, ah, crap, I should have done this differently. And then you get all frustrated at yourself. That's what happens
yeah.
to me every time. 24 hours later, I'm like, son of a gun, what was I thinking?
I know way. Um, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, since they got so many friggin' picks, why not take a flyer on a guy that drives you friggin' crazy, but as top 20 talent? I'm gonna say Marcus Nordmark for St. Louis.
Ooh.
I know you've got him in the
Yeah.
50s or whatever, but this
Yeah,
guy really is a talented friggin' player. And if he ever, apparently he didn't interview well, but you know, everyone says like bad interview, but he's just like he's introverted. He's just one of those
yeah.
kids that's just shy and not, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person. You're just
No,
that's the
no,
way
no.
he is. And if they
Yeah,
ever get it out of him, he was top 10 talent at the start of the year when I saw him. It's just fuck, this guy has it. He just he left you wanting more. But St. Louis with so many picks in the first round,
exactly.
if somebody's gonna take a friggin' flyer on a guy that might, a boomer bust type of guy, it'd be St. Louis. I'll say St. Louis takes Nordmark at 29.
It makes sense. Might have them lower, but when you have 4 first-round picks, you could just, kind of throw a dart at one and hope that you get that one in a million shot. Because if he puts it together, nobody's denying his skill. His individual skills are fantastic, but great
Yeah.
hands. He's got everything you want. So for St. Louis, I would not be averse to that pick.
Okay.
Now it's
Calgary
Calgary, right?
30. Yeah.
Oh boy. So the next guy on my list and my ranking is not a Calgary Flames type pick, in my opinion. I don't think that'll be the guy they want. And I don't think the other guy that's on my list would be the type of player they want because they got quite a few of those. So I'm going to go with the third guy on my list, which is pretty close to the other two. I will pick Jack Ekstall. You never go wrong with a right-handed center that is pretty smart and has produced some decent offense. Skating still has to come together a little bit. There's some room for improvement there, but there's also the possibility that he could carve himself a nice position in the NHL in a premium position. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Ekstall for this one.
Okay. No, that's not a bad choice. Carolina. They're always, you know what, their type of pick would be Mathis Preston. That's just
Yeah.
seems like a Carolina type.
Yes,
Um,
100%.
yeah. And it probably pans out too. Uh, just like Nordmark, top 15 skill level, leaves you wanting more a lot of nights. Had a disappointing season, but Carolina makes those kinds of picks, and sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't. Mathis, Preston, 31st overall. You can tell once you hit 28, I'm just kind of,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I have guys ahead of these guys, uh,
exactly. Yes.
but I just think, given the team and looking at it, that's their type of player. So Mathis, Preston, Carolina, 31st overall.
Uh,
Ottawa finishing her off.
yeah. I had Carolina picking Mattis Preston too on
Oh,
my
okay.
mock
Well,
for the exact
okay.
same reason you gave, right? It's a typical pick
Yeah.
from that team. So
Okay. Maybe that was in
who
my
does
subconscious. Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
so who does Ottawa go for at this point of the draft? Um, I think Ottawa continues. You go with a player that you think will be on your roster and helping you. I think they could get a bit bigger at defense still. So William Hackinson from left defenseman from Sweden. You're not going to get much offense from him, that's for sure. But you're going to get a big, heavy guy that just hacks and whacks at you anytime you try to go near the opposing net, and who takes up a ton of space defensively. Your defensive specialist among your decor.
He'll be hacking, son. Yeah. Hacks and wax. Yeah. See. Anyway. Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
good one. No, no, I got it. I got it. That was clever. I will not disagree with that one.
Oh boy. All right. I'm gonna go one more here.
Okay.
Vancouver. Let's go a couple more. What the hell? Uh
Right.
Vancouver um pulls the rug out from underneath um Mr. Rocco Zappia and picks Liam Ruck at 33rd overall
Oh.
in the draft.
Oh.
Yeah, he actually might go to Calgary at 30. I thought you might be going there with because then they have what, the 36th pick
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well, and they could, get the
Yeah.
Ruck twins. I wouldn't be surprised, but Hextall, you never know. Um yeah, well, uh Vancouver, I think they've got a bunch of picks here, right? They've got one at 41. I think Marcus still be there,
Yes.
probably
I agree.
at
I agree.
41. So
Yep.
33 overall, first pick the second round. Liam Ruck, second highest scorer in the WHL, second only to his brother, Marcus.
Gotta give them
All
some
right.
credit.
Yeah,
I just put them low because they're so insistent on playing together, and they do have the skating issues that it's like,
I
how do
know.
you
I
rank
know.
guys when they want to be together? Like, I don't know how that works, but
Yeah,
if they could get
for
both
sure.
Ruck brothers, it's a nice gamble, and it's a totally understandable pick.
Yeah.
So now we're going Chicago. Wow. Um, Boy, Chicago has drafted a lot of players in the past few years, and it's given them the opportunity to pick a lot of talent,
Yeah.
a lot of really, really skilled players. I'm looking at my roster here, and I think you need a little bit of defense, and I think you need a little bit of truculence on that lineup. I think to go with Boisvert, who's you know could be a bit of a hothead sometimes, but it's not a bad thing to have on a championship team. And I'm going to go with Gleb Pugachev, uh, winger from Russia. He's a big, heavy guy. He hits really, really hard, and he's got decent hands. Not the best skater. It's a little bit a difficult stride, but he's powerful and hardworking defensively. He just goes after pucks, tries to dive, tries to block shots, and a really a good two-way player. I think that'd be a nice fit for Chicago. He's a player that I like a lot more than I think some people do, but I'm a big fan of his.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't produce a lot in the playoffs. I watched them. I watched a few of the games and ended up liking
Mhm.
another guy more, Mishin, in the playoffs. But yeah, um, he's going pretty high. I think I
Yeah,
know there are some NHL teams that like him for sure. Okay, Jersey traded away defenseman, uh, right defenseman Pipperainen. They
makes sense.
he's pretty highly regarded. Might as well get a right D to you know to fill in that hole that they've got in the depth chart now. So
Yeah.
Pippi Longstocking to New Jersey at 35th overall. All right,
All right.
Calgary.
And now I got Calgary again. Well, I'm not gonna take one of the Rudd brothers, although I feel like I could. But no, I am gonna go with a trying to see who's left on my list these days that I think might be interesting. You know what? I am gonna pick a guy because Calgary has a lot of options, and I think this guy is a boomer bust pick, but he could be a heck of a boom, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Nikola Lagerberg Hohen. He's only played a few games this year, but really good skater, big body, produced a hell of a lot in the few games he's played. Why not go for that kind of pick if you have as many picks as Calgary have?
Jonas Lagerberg Hohen. I like it.
Yes, sir.
All right. You wanted Nicola, but we'll take his brother Jonas. We'll put Jonas in there.
Yona, sorry about that. I wrote that a little bit wrong.
That's all
Trying
right.
to read like
Yeah. Okay. Nice pick. I like that there. I think Chicago. Uh, Jackson Cover at
oh yeah,
37 overall.
nothing wrong
Uh,
with that. Nothing wrong with that.
he's got uh, he's got first round skill. They're a bit of a project, but I think a team that has a lot of picks and has had a lot of picks. Chicago is one of those teams. Makes sense that they would
Yeah,
take a flyer on a kid like Cover, and of course he's in London, and you always like how they develop players. So
yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
Cover, Chicago, 37 overall.
All right.
Seattle,
So
we'll go to 40. How's that?
Seattle, 40. All right, sounds good to me, man.
Okay.
So for Seattle, Grant, I think I'm gonna go with a guy who's gonna probably be on the third line, but I think he's very, very different than anything Seattle has, and I don't think that would be a bad thing necessarily. I'm gonna go with Brooks Rogowski. Uh, you know,
Yeah,
I think at this point of the draft, it's a pretty decent pick.
yeah. No, I could see him going somewhere in that range. Where is Brook? Is he up at the top here? Yeah, there
There
he
he
is.
is.
Brooks Rogowski. Okay. Pittsburgh, 39th overall. Hmm. Nicholas Aram Olsen.
Right. Yeah, he's
He's
got some talent.
yeah, he's pretty skilled. Scored a bushel full of goals this year. I think some NHL guys, a lot of them say he's a top 40 skill guy. So
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if he's gone somewhere by then, maybe even higher. So
All right.
Pittsburgh keeps adding skill. Florida, 40th overall.
Oh boy. I think at some point you got to look a little bit at need and see what you have in your system. And then, boy, There's a guy I have in mind that totally fits there, but I think that right now would be more important to just get some defensemen in your system and make sure that you got something coming up there because it's a premium position. So we are going to go with Samu Alalauri. He's got a lot of tools from Finland and another pretty good skater. I think he's got the tools, and Florida could be patient because they're going to be contending for a few years. So let him develop and hope that in a few
Yeah,
years, when you need a defenseman, he's ready to come in.
he's likely going top 40. He might even go in the first. So, good value for
Yeah,
them. You know, they've got Mikola who can mentor him perhaps for a year or
yeah,
two. The big
sure.
Finn too, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go 41 here just for fun. We'll say Vancouver takes Marcus Ruck,
Of
and we'll end it.
course, of course.
We'll end it with that. Brian Burke signs off on it. Um, Vancouver ends up with the Twins, just like back in the
Sounds
day.
good. Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So okay, actually we
It was
got that
fun.
done. 90 minutes. That's not that bad. Um,
Considering all that happened today, that's pretty darn impressive,
yeah,
actually.
I know,
With all
eh?
those trades out of mock. Wow.
Crazy. So any more trades? Did I miss any more?
Oh,
Or Arbor brings something oh, okay. Arbor hasn't been traded. Okay.
maybe Montreal's going to announce a trade tomorrow on Saint Jean Baptiste Day. Why not give a gift to the good people of Quebec and make a big trade?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Carrier, Bolduc, and Deno. Dealt
Yes. Oh,
for
that would go over well
yeah, dealt for an Englishman.
for an American.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that would go good for sure.
Right.
All right. Okay, Rick, anything else you got to get rolling
No.
there?
Yeah, no, it's time for Betty Bye Bye. I'm an old man. 9 o'clock starts becoming, time for my prune juice and Matlock and get ready for bed.
Matlock. Matlock. Okay. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, Matlock from The Simpsons, eh?
yes, yes.
Oh God. Okay, my friend.
All
Well,
right.
enjoy your prune juice and
Thank
uh
you. Thank you.
so join Rick and I on Friday night. We're
Yes,
going
sir.
to we're going to be live during the draft, and we'll go over. I'll get the NHL.com. I know how to share a screen now. I'm getting more
Mhm.
and more technical as I go along here,
Yes.
and so we'll have as soon as
Mhm.
the picks come up, we'll have them on the screen. We'll talk about all of them. We'll say what a stupid pick by that team, or what a great pick, or oh, look who's fallen to Montreal. It's going to be fun. So if you can join us on Friday night, Rick, I'm glad that you can be on here with me. And this was fun, and that'll be even more fun. So
Yes, sir.
thanks for joining me on such an eventful evening.
Thank you, Greg. It was always fun, and can't wait for Christmas is coming up for us in a few days, so we're excited.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh
Thank
yeah,
you,
you
Greg.
did a what, 10 players? I've been so nuts crazy the last
Yeah,
couple
for sure.
days,
Yeah.
but you sent me, is it 10 players that you think that the Habs might target?
Well, it's 10 players that I find interesting, whether it be the
Okay.
Habs or any other team. After the
Okay.
fourth round, I think will be available. And guys that I think
Oh.
I'm interested in after the fourth round. One of those hidden gems possibility later on
Okay.
in the draft.
Because I haven't got a chance to read it yet, but okay.
All
So
right.
I'll be putting that up on Patreon tomorrow, along with a couple other articles, and hopefully you can. If you're a member, you'll get to see it, and if not, subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you,
Have a
Greg.
good night.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye. Enrico Springhetti, folks, the one and only. Great job by him. Yeah, busy night. Of course, the big news is Jay Teal broke. Connor Ingram traded to Ottawa. That's the big. I don't think there were any other trades today, were there? That was the blockbuster. We'll break it down a little later. St. Louis for first-round picks, yes, and we just picked them all, and they'd be good young talent, boy. Oh, someone's saying that St. Louis will draft the Twins. Maybe. You know, I know NHL guys that would not take Marcus Ruck in the first 2 rounds. So do you spend a first-round pick on Ruck, on Marcus? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Certainly got a lot of points, but so did Corey Locke once upon a time. Remember Corey Locke? Longtime Habs fans. Can't use, won't pay these price to make a trade. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if Kent ends up making a deal here. By the way, like and subscribe, okay? If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Like this, and I will like you. Thank you. Where have you seen Ingram going to Ottawa? Yeah, see, got things rolling there. Everyone's talking. That's the big buzz, Connor Ingram. The Connor Ingram buzz is alive and well. Now they need to convince Nemec to stay in Calgary. Good luck with that. What do you mean? What? He's a big huge America fan? You know that the guy's from Slovakia, right? I don't quite understand what you convince him to stay. He's an RFA for the next 4 years. He doesn't have much choice. Do I think Hellebuck will be going to Florida? I do not, Bev. They do not have the cap space. Nemec first in scoring at the Olympics. Yeah. Got to learn how to check, but Calgary loved the pick skills. I would not be surprised with Wyatt Cullen. At what? 6th overall? They need a centerman. They're going Bjork, I do believe. He's skilled too. All kinds of it. Drafting Ruck as soon as 15 and 16 is way too early. Yeah. They're ranked 16 and 21. What, there's a master list somewhere, Bonjour? What do you mean they're ranked 16 and 21? There's no. Where do you see that they're ranked 16 and 21? There might be a list out there that has them that, but that's not the gospel. There's no one list that says, hey, let's just look at Central Scouting as an example. 20th and 23 in North America, which would put them both one in early second or late first and the other mid second. I've got Ruck about 28, Liam, and I have Marcus 50-ish. And I know lots of NHL scouts that don't have him anywhere near the top 2 rounds. So I know he led the WHL in scoring, but a lot of guys have led the WHL in scoring that never played in the in the NHL. Dagenet to St. Louis, maybe. Why? Because they got Carbon 02? I don't know. Rumors are Western team offered the Leafs 2 first-round picks from Matthews. San Jose has the 2nd and 9th pick. Yeah. Why would San Jose? They've got to get defense. Why would San Jose, who's got Misa and Celebrini at center, want to trade and not still need defensemen and get Austin Matthews? Doesn't make sense to me, Nas. I don't think San Jose was making that offer. Really like the Eklund trade to Ottawa. Halton and Saboda are decent prospects. Yeah, Halton in particular. Yeah, not only heating up, Byram is traded. Byram and Jordan Greenway for the fourth and 45th overall picks and a player. I did Yosemite Saddam. We did talk about Halton in there. Trades of Lafkowski. Oh, hang on, folks. I got to plug in here. There we go. Anyway, no, they're not trading PlayStation trade there. Somebody came up with Slavkovsky second overall takes Denver, trade Hughes, goalie first for nice. Yeah. Good return for Ottawa. Pick the right guy, 25 and 32, and they turn this around. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Well, they got a good return, and it's not over yet. They might even trade. They might even try to get McTavish yet. Caulfield and the 28th pick to the Sharks for the second 9th pick. Yeah. Too many fellas got their PlayStations out here. I know it was say San Jose, but he's been minus 45, minus 7, minus 33. Kid needs to back check, be responsible defensively. Nothing like trotting out the old plus minus stats for a team that had no goaltending and defense, and using that as proof that a kid that was 18 to 21 at the time isn't good defensively. Caulfield would score over 60 with Celebrini. Absolutely. Greer is going to look like a mastermind. Yep. Or Rudolph. Yeah. Habs not trading Slav. They might. Yeah. No. Okay. Let's get off the. Somebody throws out a crazy rumor. Everyone doesn't have to respond to it. They're not trading Slav. Let's just nip that in the bud right here and now. Robinson turned down 12 million. Okay. Apparently Robertson turned down being traded to the Sens too. Like he wouldn't sign there. Sign and trade. Why are so many people on the AJ Greer thing? Like I keep AJ Greer. Is it because he's from Montreal or something? He's all right, I guess. I was just reading your draft article, Rick. Yeah. Nice. Thanks for the comment, Sheldon, there that you left on Patreon. Rick's had some good articles. Babcock is officially hired by Edmonton. DJ Smith, you have no problem with it. Okay. No, great. Need more guys like Babcock. Recycle those old timers, especially the ones that insist on looking through your phone. Yeah, got zero issue with it. Maybe Robinson wants to join the Leafs. His brother plays there too. I don't think so. McKenna will get more points. Stenberg will be the better player. Joe Thornton got more points than Bergeron. No one believes he was the better player. We'll see. Neither are fully developed. McKenna could, Mitch Marner was not a great defensive player at 17, and he developed into one of the best penalty killers in the league. So, we'll see. I'm not right now. Stenberg's better away from the puck. McKenna made a lot of strides that way. He works hard. Toronto's getting a good player. We can wish that they aren't, but they're getting a stud young player. It's just the Dems to facts. Byram going, yeah. Caleb's parents are Manny Malhotra and Steve Nash's sister Joanne. Yeah. He dribbles the puck down the ice really effectively, yeah. They had an interesting start to the season, but it went down quite fast. Knight had to carry them. Not clear he'll necessarily repeat. Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, Florida's going to win cups. Celebrating and Stenberg are going to win a cups. Habs are going to win cups. Look, there's going to be a lot of contenders over the next decade, including San Jose, including Montreal, maybe Florida, maybe a couple others here. Buffalo, good. It's going to be fun. There'll be lots of contenders, and there are not going to be too many to get multiple cups because there's just so many good teams. I could see Colorado, wherever McDavid's playing in a couple of years. Things can change in a hurry. And like Ken says, how are they winning these cups if Montreal's winning them? Exactly. Let's not, now Stenberg's the second coming. We'll see. His mom was a soccer sensation. Oh. I get a kick out of people thinking San Jose passes on Stenberg even before this trade. Well, it did make sense that they'd taken another 5'11" winger. Sorry, but you can only have two in your top line. And you shouldn't even have two, but yes, she played varsity soccer. Buffalo did amazingly well. That they did. Belkits to New Jersey. Thomas staying in St. Louis. Yep. Columbus was set to draft Seneca. Anaheim took him before. Columbus panicked, took the next big winger in Lindstrom. No, I don't think that's what you heard is factual. I don't think they were taking Seneca. Why are people talking about trading Caulfield and Slap? And I'm like, come on, guys. Savannah to Washington makes sense. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Now it's trade Hudson. Trade Gooley. Why do people want, Buffalo basically traded Middlestat for the 4th overall pick. That is true. That's a good point. That's good asset management, isn't it? You know, Bergevin was a lot of things, but the dude was always pretty good at trading. So that is a good return. Pettersson. My God, no. Elias Pettersson to Montreal. No. N-O-N-double-O. No. Holy smokes, I've never seen so much movements in the week prior to the draft. Wonder what. Yeah, it's crazy. Can't always wait till draft night. It seems like. But there's not going to be any deals left to be made. Anybody glad that Habs passed on Kyrou now? Imagine paying that price for freaking Kyrou. I would have passed. What did they get here? McMichael, Gastrine, 16th overall. So that'd have been like last year, the Habs trading the 16th overall, Kapanen and Beck or freaking Hage. Yeah, it's pretty big haul. Actually, no, McMichael's Kapanen's not McMichael or Kapanen. It would be Rick. I don't know. Habs don't have a McMichael, but high high return for Kyrou. I think St. Louis did really well in that deal. Wyatt Cullen was still available. What are you talking about, Simo? I picked him at 12 or something like that. Wonder what Matheson would be worth out there. Oh, now it's Matheson. Sounded. Uh, do, 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 do. uh, Montreal will separate Caulfield and Suzuki after the years they had. Yeah, probably not. Cullen could go top 10. He's going high. Thorpe, Tuck, Jack Eye's little brother, Reinbacher, Papanicus. Yeah, there's some size coming. Some believe Pettersson to the Habs. Yeah, well, some believe the Earth is flat too. If any D needs to be replaced going forward, it'll be Carrier. Yeah. Elias Pettersson's the opposite of what the Canadians need right now. It just makes no sense. The salary, the softness, the attitude, like strike one, strike two, strike three. No Elias Pettersson. They're not even, the phone's hung up as soon as it rings, if that, Absolutely no, not even no. No. Arbor brings something to Montreal. Pittsburgh will trade Carlson 1 year remaining. Maybe. Bedard's contract finished July 1st. He didn't have a new contract yet. Team tend to sign their star players a year before the contract ends. Babcock. I remember Elmer Locke. All right, Audio Murphy. No wonder I mistook you for being 73. Elmer Locke got his jaw broken during a game. It was a tough game back then. Absolutely. I think he had lockjaw, did he not? After that? Lockjaw? I've been on here too long. I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Nobody, no toonies tonight. Top 10 draft picks being thrown around like they're worth nothing. Yeah, that's true. Usually they're not. You don't see too many of them getting moved, but this year it's crazy. Just got some feedback from NHL scout. Thinks San Jose good move for San Jose. Because Matthews is a star. Oh, he is. Okay, thanks, Emil. Yeah, all those playoff wins, eh? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Oh, there's my toonie. All right, Sheldon. Thank you. I can go to sleep now, guys. Yeah, I'm being a little curt with a few of these responses. That is true. I just some of these. Come on, man. Some of these trade. Frig. Everybody trade everybody. Trade everybody but Suzuki. No, thank you on Carew. Yeah, I know folks like folks like to make trades, suggest trades all the time. Pedersen can't skate. Sarcastic soft diva also sits down to pee. I didn't want to have to say it, P-Doc, but yeah, exactly. This is getting comical in regards to trading Slav, Cole, Matheson. Yeah, I wish I could laugh about it. Chicago should have kept second and signed Malmstein. Maybe, eh? Pedersen got his points from Hughes and Miller. Miller and Pedersen, I go for Miller. He's an a-hole, but you need them in the playoffs. I don't blame you for being curt. Well, yeah. Been a long day. I had young lads that live next door. They have not cut their grass all year. They had thistles 4 feet high. It's, oh, a lawn place? They've asked me 5 times in the last 2 weeks. Well, I just said, look, I'll cut the friggin' thing. Got out there with the shears, chick, 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 chick. Middle of the heat during the day. It's a long day, but we got it done. So yeah, I don't want to see, trade Hudson trade Slav, trade Caulfield. No, they're not getting traded, my friends. If anyone gets traded, it's going to be young prospects, picks, young players. But the core, no. Caulfield's not going anywhere. Slav's definitely not going anywhere. Hudson's not going anywhere. Matheson's not getting dealt. And the Habs aren't getting Pettersson. So there's an inside scoop for you folks on this fine evening. Look, I have to get back to my draft rankings. I'm still finishing them up. I could change them right till minute before the draft starts, but I will put them out over the next 2 days. And we've got some other great articles that we'll be putting up on the draft site here on Habscast Patreon that folks can read. Bingo or Grant's draft night, tough decision. The girls are at the bingo. The boys are watching Grant and Rick, and we'll think no more of Inco on a Sudbury Friday night. Okay? I think I screwed that up. But did I see the comment at the start? No, I did not. Sorry about that, Francois. About Owen Tippett. Not a big Tippett guy. They don't need a winger, really, Francois. I think they're set there going forward. He's a bit selfish. No, don't think Tippett's somebody that they're after. Depends on your definition of a star. Like Emil, if you think like somebody that wins one playoff series every 10 years is a star, okay, he's a star. He's a superstar. All right? Austin Matthews is a star. He's a regular season superstar. I know his point totals, Francois. There's nothing to do with his point totals or that he's 6'1" and 210 pounds. He's not. They don't need Owen Tippett. They've got four wingers going forward that are better than Owen Tippett. Will be better than Owen Tippett. He's selfish. He's not very smart. He's not good away from the puck. He's inconsistent. I don't want him. Not a playmaker. Do I think Ottawa won the Eklund trade? According to this one NHL scout, no. Said, what are they doing? Hey, I like Eklund. I don't know. Time will tell on that. I think he'll play okay with. He's speedy. He can play with Stützle. Depends on who San Jose gets and how he turns out. You can't. I mean, you can't judge a 23-year-old for a 9th overall pick at this point, right? Decade from now, we'll have a lot better. Idea. I mean, depends who they pick. Depends how the player pans out. But what a crazy day! What a crazy day! Crazy friggin' trades. Someone he thinks is Steos is cooking something up. Yeah, he might be. He might well be. The Byram trade makes the Dobson trade look even better. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good, folks. Eklund is still 23, top 6. Yeah, I thought, sure. I agree, Nicholas. Um, I think that's a decent deal for Ottawa. They needed a player back. They weren't getting an Eklund from Florida. They don't have a 23-year-old. They didn't have one. He's better than Samoskevich. I think he's good. Yeah, I think they could have done worse. They could have done worse. Uh, when you piece together, when you say Eklund, 25th pick, first rounder in 2029, and a second rounder, and Haltonen and Zaboboda for Kachuk, I think it's making more sense. Yeah, I think he was over a barrel. Yeah. Kyrou to Washington. He's been rumored to be traded for 2 years now, so I'm not too surprised that Kyrou got dealt. You want to rehash here? McMichael, Gastrine, 16th overall pick. I like that deal for St. Louis. I think that they needed a top 2 center, and they got one in McMichael. I also like Gastrine too. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa went for Bobrovsky too. Maybe. I think I'd be a little surprised about that, but possibly. Well, folks, I gotta let my dog out for a walk. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for watching. Austin Matthews is a star. Nothing more to be said, I guess. Great day to talk hockey. Lots of trades. We'll be digesting this for a while. Hey, maybe the Habs trade Hudson for Matthews tomorrow. We can only hope. They could use another star. All right, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you very soon.